crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream maker, you heart.
Now, you wouldn't normally associate my next guest with the music of Chopin, Schubert, and Beethoven, but the man who immortalized songs like Moon River and Home Loving Man is over here launching his new record. It's based on the classics, and by the way, it went straight into the album charts this week. And so with a song called Journey's End, that you'll recognize as the theme from the Uneeden line, we're very pleased to welcome Mr. Andy Williams.
I can't wait until the moment the picture in my mind becomes reality, not the dream that lay with me through the long, lonely night. Today I can see on the horizon glow of harbor lights. I know you'll be there when I reach my journey's end. I can see you at last, and you look even more beautiful. The heartache and the pain will still be over when I reach my journey's end.
Thank you.
What a marvelous song.
Isn't that a pretty song?
Oh, had you seen the Uneeden line prior to
No, I
recording
hadn't.
this?
I hadn't, but that's a Khachaturian tune.
From Spartacus, I think,
A
originally.
theme from
wasn't it?
Spartacus, yeah.
That's lovely.
That's a good song.
Actually, earlier we were talking to Henry Cooper about his new golf tournament in this country, but you've got your own golf tournament back in the States, haven't you?
I've had a golf tournament in San Diego, a PGA event for the last 17 years. Originally, Bing Crosby had a tournament, and then Bob Hope had a tournament. These are tournaments of celebrities. And then the city of San Diego asked me to put my name on a tournament, and it's big success, and it's a great deal of fun. I mean, a lot of people like Jack Lemmon and Bob Hope, people like that come to my tournament. I go to their tournaments. And funny things happen. Jack Lemmon is he's not a great golfer. I'm not a great golfer either, but he is definitely not. And,
being charitable, yes.
one time he was on camera, and he had to hit a putt that was about 90 feet from the hole, and it went up 2 different levels. It went along here, and then it went up on a level, up a little hill, and then it went out flat, and then it went up another little hill, and then there was the hole, and he lined up this putt, and he took about 2 minutes to line it up. It was a big long putt. Everybody was watching him. And he finally putt the ball. And it went up the first thing like this, and it leveled off, and it started up the second hill, and it didn't make it. And it started coming down again, came all the way down here, and it went right between his legs, and he looked at it, and the camera was right over there. Saw his face. It was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in my life. And whenever there was a dull moment in play, and Arnold Palmer or Jack Nicklaus were not teeing off or not putting, and it was just sort of dull watching people walk down the fairway, the director would say, "Let's go and see Jack Lemmon putt again." They must have shown it about 11 or 12 times during the 2-hour telecast. It was funny.
I album in London, and indeed you come here quite often, but it's always interesting to find out, say, what people like yourself like about a city like London.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to like about London. I love London. I like the people. I love the tennis. I love the cab drivers. They're very polite and nice, and they're intelligent.
You hear what
Well, if you haven't been to New York, then you don't know what a really rude cab driver is. Cab drivers in London are wonderful. They know all about Shakespeare and about Dickens, and you ask a cab driver in New York about Shakespeare or Dickens, they just go, huh? They have no idea what you're talking about. And they're rude, and here they're very nice. There's a story about a Japanese tourist in New York who goes up to a typical New York cab driver, and he said, "Pardon me, can you tell me how to get to Empire State Building, or shall I just go piss off?" I mean, that's absolutely true. That's, you ask him anything. Say, "Can you piss off?"
That'll give the black cab drivers in London a good laugh anyway this afternoon. Oh,
yeah.
certainly will. Tell me, before you hit the big time in the States, I mean, earlier we heard Paul Shane talking about his time in the northern clubs. Did you play all the seedy joints as well?
Oh, yeah, everybody does. I mean, I don't know anybody that hasn't played some terrible places. I
Loved about the Andy Williams shows, though. I always liked that bit at the end, when you got up and asked the lady in the front row to dance with you. I mean, did that always go quite smoothly?
Well, I try and pick out an attractive girl.
You ready? Go.
But I knew that wasn't really the best thing to do. I mean, every week you don't just go for the cutest girl. So sometime you pick out an elderly lady and you dance with her. And I've had some very strange things happen. You can't tell how big people are when they're sitting down. And I'm not a basketball player. And I invited one girl to come up, and she must have been 6'4". And it was really funny looking, But we never ever stopped and never did them again. One lady, you had to be there.
Well,
and then there was one girl that I thought very attractive, got up. We started to dance. She could not move her feet. I mean, she stood, we were dancing. She would not move. She was just like this. Not at all. She never ever moved. It's very difficult to dance with somebody who won't move.
For sure. Well, I tell you what, Andy, I wouldn't want you to have to walk all the way to the front row of the audience. We don't want to overwork you tonight. The B.O.'s not too bad either. So if I provide the music, I mean, would you sing the introduction and do that bit, yeah?
May each day in the week be a good day. May the Lord always watch over you.
Good night, everybody.
wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday.